I am happy to introduce you to one of the authors of the upcoming book, which has a name sort of like artificial superintelligence. And Cern Basher has kindly offered to provide us with at least a chapter on the subject matter. And Cern, do you know anything about artificial intelligence? I was hoping that when I asked you, you did.
Well, my own intelligence is a bit artificial,
That's true.
but I have three able assistants.
Okay.
One is called Gemini, one is called Grok, and the other one is called ChatGPT.
And those are very good assistants.
And I'm going to task all three with helping me write the various chapters.
So one of my thoughts when I suggested that you join us in this escapade was your fascination with cryptocurrency or with Bitcoin or with uh, 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 blockchain technology as used as a security device.
Yep.
I'm not sure that that's where you're going to go with all this, or one of the things you'll want to talk about. But you know more about that than anybody I know, and I don't even see much being written about it. So.
Yeah, it's a topic that I would like to dive into, and I think I will write about that for this book. Yes, it's
Mhm.
very important because if we don't have security in cyberspace, then we don't have anything.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
right.
going to work. Artificial intelligence will fail us at some point. So the security element of it is critical.
Will we be able to secure our content at some point?
In theory, yes.
Okay. So if we put this video out right now, anybody can take this video. They could take your likeness, my voice, your voice, turn it into something that they could call my grandma. Oh no, my grandma's gone. Call my 99 and a half year old mom and say, your son has been kidnapped. But
Well, yeah, no, good question. I don't know that there's much we can do to
oh, okay.
protect against that, but hopefully we'll also have AI tools that can detect whether something has been AI generated or not.
Mhm. So the other side of that would be, though, let's say more than of a content creation situation, somebody changes the content a little bit, puts it out as their own, and makes money off of it, but it doesn't have the crypto um, watermark on it or something.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some elements there. There is an opportunity to put the likes of Facebook and Google out of business with respect to, making money off of content.
Mhm.
But maybe that's something that we'll dive into in the book.
Okay. All right. Cool. Interesting. So I this will be at 7 o'clock tonight, so it's not normal that we talk about the specific situation with the market today, but I just did notice that Tesla dropped not precipitously, a few dollars out of the blue in the middle of the day. Did you see anything? Did you read anything? Was there anything
I
going
have
on?
all the reasons why in today's presentation.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep.
What the heck then? Let's just dive right in.
We're prepared for this, Randy, today.
Prepare for this.
Because after all, we want to be able to explain every single move in the stock price.
Yeah, well, I don't mind the ones that go along with the market. Those I kind of go, the market's moving. But when it's just completely out of the blue. Okay, so what in the world have you got here?
Well, this is Tesla's latest new potential product.
Okay.
It's called the Cyber House,
Oh, very, very cool.
right? And as a Cybertruck owner, I sort of feel like my house now ought to match my truck,
It ought to. Absolutely.
right? And I'm sorry, maybe a little small here to see, but I believe this design right here is a 3,500 square foot house.
Seems perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would imagine that you could string a few of these together if you were a billionaire, if you wanted a bigger one. But it looks pretty fancy.
Yeah,
I think I could go for this.
yeah. Heck of
But
it.
this is Cyber House is a futuristic Tesla-inspired bunker designed for extreme survival scenarios like nuclear war or zombie outbreaks, Randy. So this is created by Modern House Architecture and Design in St. Petersburg, so just up the road from me. Um, 3,230 square feet. Sorry,
Okay.
I
All right.
overestimated the size. Can accommodate up to seven people It includes a central atrium with an elevator for vehicle storage, bedrooms, living spaces, and a roof deck. And the bunker is equipped with airlocks, armored windows, and is built to withstand hurricanes, which is important for Florida,
Yes, yes.
earthquakes, and radioactive threats. So, um, I think Tesla should start making these.
So my question is, all of those are cool, and they could have thought of this idea 5 years ago. Well, there's no Cybertruck, but didn't they talk anything about the new HVAC system or utilizing other Tesla technologies in the house, like power walls and all the rest?
Well, they should have. They
Solar
should have if
roof.
they did. Yeah, if they didn't, this is where Tesla could extend this for sure,
Well,
beyond this idea.
you said they're right up the street from you. I think you would collaborate with them and bring them up to date.
Yeah, no, if I had the time, Randy, I would.
Oh, that's right. You've got to write a chapter. You've got your time
That's
is.
right. I've got a book to write.
That's right.
All right, usual disclaimer. All right, so this is something that I've had fun with over the last week or so. And it started out with somebody's list, and I talked about this on Herbert's show last week. And at the time, we had a fraction of the items on the list as we do now. So I'm now up to 115 things that Elon Musk has unveiled or contributed to the world.
Uh-huh.
Now, not all these things are created equal. Some of these things are still, things in the works,
Right.
but it's a pretty impressive list.
That is.
I've tried to color code this a little bit. The Tesla items are in white, and
Okay.
there's more of those.
Yeah.
We've got SpaceX items in green. We've got X and XA items in blue. We've got Neuralink in the pink, and then Boring Company in kind of the orange, the yellowy color. Well, actually, true yellow. I've got political stuff, so the American Party and Doge.
Okay.
And then red is this kind of other, like
Okay.
14 kids.
That would be like PayPal and things of that nature.
Yeah, Zip2, Musk Foundation, a video game that he built when I think he was 12,
Right.
that he
Right.
sold for $500. Astronova School, and so on.
Got it.
So, just it's a good list to have to remind people when they say that Elon hasn't accomplished anything.
Yeah.
You could print this out and laminate it and have it handy for when you get accosted on the street that Elon is not doing anything for humanity.
So now we need to ask Grok to put them in order of importance.
We could try that, and I would suppose that the Tesla tequila might be at the top of the list.
That would probably be. You have a point.
Yeah, depends on what the criteria for being most important is.
That's right. That's right.
What would be your top pick, Randy?
What would be my top pick? Optimus. Optimus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I guess I would do it, be partial. I would guess impact would be one way to do it. Impact might be kind of equivalent to dollar potential or earnings potential or something like that, because, things that have impact usually have some kind of dollar potential associated with them. I don't know. Yeah.
My top five in no particular order would be Optimus, Robotaxi, Starship, Starlink, and Grok.
And Grok. Yeah, see, it's so hard to leave Neuralink out of that list.
Well, yeah, that one would be up there too, I think.
Then there's always free speech on X.
Well, yeah. I mean, the list of important things gets big quickly.
Gets big quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So anyway, I thought that was a good place to start, just to remind folks.
Are you encouraging people to send you on your X, additions to the list?
I have, and this is probably the fourth iteration of the list.
Okay, all right.
So I appreciate all the comments that I've received. I've incorporated the vast majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
There are certainly a number of Tesla, retail products like the Cyber Whistle and Giga Beer and all that kind of stuff. I didn't put everything in here. I do have the Tesla shop listed.
Okay.
But I did also, just for fun, list a few things like short shorts and tequila and things like that.
Yes.
Some of the more prominent ones, not a flamethrower and the burnt hair perfume from the Boring Company. So, but again, is this too many to list?
Yeah, well, at some point, I do notice this with lists online. I usually put out top tens or top 20s because at some point people just go, they do this because
Yeah.
it's too much to consume.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I tried to color code it at least a little bit
Yeah, no, I
to
love the color. That's very cool.
help people make sense of it.
Yep.
Um, and then the reminder at the bottom, what did you get done this week?
Yeah. Now maybe you could do it because you have all these capabilities that I wish I had of creating graphs and things. Maybe you could have, 8 squares or balls or something, Tesla, your colors, and then within the ball you would have the list of items so that kind of breaks it up more and for the mind to get a hold of.
Good suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get right on that after I've solved the cyber house issues.
Yeah, listen, I'm all for, giving you ideas today, right?
Yeah. So as much as I don't want to talk about this, we kind of have to.
Okay.
We've had a lot of fun with this, I guess, on X this week with the expansion of Tesla's Robotaxi network.
Yes, yes.
And it was kind of interesting because I wrote what I thought actually was a pretty serious article about this whole thing,
Okay.
right? And it was well received and so on. And my point was that it showed Tesla's flexibility
Right.
and that somebody suggests a certain shape for their geofenced area. 17 days later, we have that shape.
Right, right.
And I compared the two side by side. Well, this post, got Elon's attention and he commented on it. Not necessarily on what I'd written, but just giving us an update in terms of pricing
Oh, okay.
for the Robotaxi service. And he said that the price is now a princely 690 as foretold in the prophecy.
I see. And this was in response to your post.
It was. Yeah,
Wow,
that's where that information came from.
you're getting absolutely famous.
Well, this is not something that I wanted to be famous for.
I
But
see.
yeah.
I see.
Um, and of course, whenever Elon replies to a post, your X
Number.
feed
Yeah.
goes nuts for a
Yes.
couple of days.
Well, especially on that one. I would think that would have been big, big pop. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, here's just the screen capture there that shows his response. So today, though, we have Waymo responding,
Yeah.
and they've expanded their geofence area. It now looks like this, in the lighter blue compared to the original one, I think, in the darker blue. And so Sawyer's also compared that with where Tesla is now.
Right, right, right.
Now, it seems to me that Waymo missed a pretty awesome opportunity here if they really wanted to have fun with Tesla, but we'll leave that unsaid. They, they went with their shape. They could have done something a lot more fun, but they chose to be serious about this.
I suspect, however, that if they'd done what would have been a lot more fun, it might have seemed like they were um, hmm, that they were the one receipt. I don't know how to say it. I'm
Yeah,
sure everybody can think about it as I'm trying to think about how to say it. I do, I
that's
do,
right.
I do want to
But
I don't want to be, I don't want Google to oust me.
yes,
Yeah.
but it also though would have given them an amazing opportunity to show how adaptable and flexible they were, again, along the lines of my post.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But maybe they're not able to be adaptable and flexible. So be it. So we get this shape.
I was thinking though, however, it would seem like Elon would now want to one up them again. It would seem like that would be in his nature,
Hmm.
just double down again, which they probably couldn't do.
Right. So we'll see what the next couple of weeks brings. So Waymo has been sort of reporting every now and then their fully autonomous miles.
Right?
And earlier this week, they announced that they have about now 100 million miles driven autonomously. I believe these are with riders. I believe this is just the portion that's with riders, not the deadhead part
Okay.
or the empty miles.
Right.
And so I've got 4 data points here that show the growth in the miles. The first one was when they announced 25 million back in July last year. So they've gone from 25 million miles to 100 million in a year.
Mhm.
Okay. So you can see this curve, starting to curve up a little bit, starting to accelerate as they increase their fleet size.
Right.
And by the way, here's one where they say through March, rider only miles driven. So that's why I think that they're showing
Yeah,
the miles here just with the riders only.
right.
Okay. Don't know that for 100%, but I believe that's what they're doing. So I took that data and looked at the average daily average fleet miles since the last reporting date. So you can see that that is increasing.
Right,
Okay, so that also tells us that their fleet is growing.
right.
And here's the estimated fleet size. It went from about 600 vehicles, maybe 700-ish at the end of the year last year, to now about 1,500 plus.
Okay,
And I think they've announced a desire to get to 2,600 or something plus next year.
right.
So they're starting to expand their fleet. And then I've calculated here the daily average miles per vehicle. And this is just an estimate, but I believe it's in the 200 to 225 range.
Okay, okay,
Okay. So nothing crazy,
right.
but reasonable. Okay. So hopefully we can continue to track this and then eventually track this versus Tesla's expansion.
Exactly. Yeah.
We haven't received any official data from Tesla yet in terms of how many miles that they've driven. Now, the media is having a good time with Tesla. It's a lot of fun, but also cartoonists now are getting in on the action. So I guess that's a good sign when cartoonists think that your problems are worthy of a cartoon.
Right, right.
A little slow, I think, though, however, in getting in on the action. They could have done this years ago, but that's good.
I just I'm a little bit, this guy is usually so spot on. I'm curious if he's got a double joke in here that it's an engine fire. It's like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is that what he's
Well, that's right. There may be a lack of understanding about Teslas. I also sort of see, he's run into the A. A stands for autonomy.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the auto business is running into the autonomous world. Sure, I don't know, maybe it's not that deep, but
Maybe not. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm confused. Okay.
And I thought this was good. This person says, every time someone argues against FSD with me, they do it from a selfish perspective. I like to drive. I won't use it. I'm not giving up control. And then he says, I support Tesla and FSD technology because it will hugely benefit humanity. Elderly maintaining independence, fewer traffic deaths, freedom for the disabled.
Right.
Right. So he says we have a ways to go. Yes, but if you can't see the obvious benefits, elevate your thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just three of, I could probably give you 151 benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought this was an interesting point that's
Yes. Oh,
usually the
yes.
perspective people speak
100%.
from.
Yeah.
I thought Lewis's retort here, he says, to the folks that say I like to drive, I say, well, you've never had an option to not drive. So, how do they know that they don't, that not driving could be better?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the things they left off the list, which is uh, not one that's good for the world, but it's good for the individual driver. And talking to somebody about this just the other day, it's like being able to actually watch the scenery go by is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually do something else other than driving, which
Yep.
again, as I've mentioned many times, people are already telling us that that's what they want to do.
Right.
People spend a lot of time on their phones while driving their cars.
Yes.
So why don't we just let them do that and not have them drive? Yeah. We've talked about this before as well, but Sawyer mentions here, he says, Warren Buffett on the potential financial effects on Geico if Tesla were to achieve full self-driving. He says, if accidents get reduced 50%, it's going to be good for society. So Warren at least is focused on the right thing here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bad for insurance companies' volume. But good for society is what we're looking for, says Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So that's nice in the face of insurance rates that are up 94% in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I don't know that anybody's going to cry any tears over insurance companies having less business, but this
No,
would also indicate that the other group of people, uh, lawyers having less business, is not going to have anybody crying either.
that's right. Yeah, those poor suffering lawyers.
Or suffering lawyers, yeah.
Yeah. So we do have a new product unveil, I guess, Randy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the Model Y L. Catchy name.
Catchy.
Um, Interesting with the logo, a little Y that's kind of extended
Uh,
because the vehicle is 7 inches longer than the current Model Y.
right, right.
6 seats, new wheels, new seats, new light gold exterior paint color, modified rear C-pillar design, new spoiler. So supposed to launch in autumn,
Yes. Yes.
in the fall. So that's great. Is this the more affordable models that we've been waiting for?
Well, it's more affordable than a Model X. That's what somebody pointed out. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for a six-seater that can seat you comfortably, then therefore it would be more affordable than that. I just say somebody else said, and I think this is even more, I think this might have been Brian Wong, that this indicates that a Model X shorter or a Model XS is certainly a real possibility and might be what we're going to see next. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
Model Y S.
Model
Yeah,
Y.
Model Y L. We can have a Model Y S for shorter.
It's going to be so much less confusing. Yeah.
Even confused myself.
Right. And then fires. Again, this is a topic that comes up every now and then. And Tesla continues to report on this. And it's interesting. This is 2023 data, which seems to be old, but this is the most recent data. So Tesla's revealed that their vehicle fleet experienced just one fire per 155 million miles driven, compared to 19 million for the US average.
Yeah,
Now, the one thing that mitigates this a little bit is the average age of the US fleet is a lot older than the average age of a Tesla.
right.
Still, you can see that there's a massive difference in this number.
Yeah, and when I saw this the other day, I was thinking, does this differentiate between a fire started by the engine overheating, or does it differentiate between that and somebody dropping a cigarette on the seat? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it does say Tesla's data includes fire events that are caused by structure fires,
I see. Yeah,
wildfires, arson, and other causes
yeah,
unrelated to the vehical.
yeah.
So that would further
Right.
inflate or
Reduce.
inflame the numbers.
Uh-huh.
Another cartoon, Randy, another Tesla cartoon.
Oh, okay.
I said my long Tesla position was working. I never said that it was working well.
But there's still time. There's still time.
There's still time. His wife there, I'm assuming that's his wife, seems to be hopeful still.
Okay. Okay.
He looks like he's lost hope. But she, yeah, I don't know. SpaceX. The SpaceX team now has 500 orbital spaceflight missions under their belt,
Wow.
which is pretty impressive. That's as of July 13th. Here is the number of launches by year.
Hmm.
So a little bit of a slow start on this exponential curve. In 2006, we had one flight, one in 2007, two in
Oh,
2008,
back.
one, two, and zero in 2011. And then from there, it started to ramp up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So last year, there was 133. I think it's about one every 3 days. And we've had 84 this year as of July 12th.
Looking like we could be over, well, 170 anyway, maybe, or 160, or maybe more.
Something like that in the
Yeah.
160s, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Very
I
cool.
don't know whether there's any sort of seasonality in their launches or not, but
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
pretty amazing. And of course, once Starship comes along, that will change everything.
Yeah.
If you can reduce the cost of sending, the payload into space by a factor of 10, that is going to explode the business.
Yeah. Maybe
No
fewer,
pun intended.
eventually more launches, but maybe in the first year or two, it'd be probably fewer of those, but yeah.
Fewer launches, but more
More
more kilograms
tonnage.
into
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was an interesting chart. I think we may have seen something like this before, but Nvidia now is more than 8% of the S&P 500. That's the brown line on the far right. and it's overtaken Apple as the largest
Right.
name there.
Right.
Apple previously was, above 7, and it had a good run for a good decade or more. That's the blue bars. Prior to that, we had ExxonMobil as the largest company in the S&P for 6 years.
Hmm.
And then we had Microsoft and GE fighting back and forth for a decade plus.
Hmm.
And then prior to that was Exxon again, without mobile that time, just Exxon. And then prior to that was IBM. IBM was the market champion for a couple of decades,
Hmm.
with AT&T getting in there a couple, or I guess 4 times.
Yeah,
So that's kind of interesting. IBM takes the record at 9% of the S&P over this time period,
I see.
from 1965 to present. So will Nvidia get to 9% of the S&P? I think it's quite possible.
Very, very possible. Now, maybe I'm, jumping ahead of you, which I've done once or twice. Um, uh, I think I saw where possibly Nvidia's net valuation now is larger than the GDP of Germany or some or England. I can't remember. Some country, major country, I think.
Yeah, no, it's entirely possible. Again, we have to remember that GDP is kind of like income,
Right. Yes.
and market cap's kind of like net worth.
It's
So
still
to
it's
have
still
your net
interesting.
worth greater than your income doesn't seem crazy, but we're talking about countries,
Yes. Yes.
right? And Germany is not a small country.
Right.
Yeah. So the person that posted this said that the last time a stock was over 8% of the S&P was 56 years ago, IBM.
Wow.
And he said interesting historical facts. Also in 1969, the Justice Department filed an antitrust lawsuit against IBM, accusing it of being a monopoly, which it dropped in 1982. So they went
Wow.
after them for a good 13 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. The only other stock to exceed 8%, AT&T, was also accused by the Justice Department of being a monopoly in 1949. The case was successful and Ma Bell was broken up in 1984. That was a long case too.
Yes.
Um,
So I think
yeah, I mean,
Nvidia probably has the characteristics of a monopoly more than any of those did, as it is able to charge egregious margins, crazy margins.
yeah,
It has a massive market percentage, of the total available business out there. But how would you break it up? You know, where
right.
nobody else has the technology, the capability, at least presently. So I don't know what you would do.
I'm not an expert on antitrust. My understanding is that the issue is when you have acquired all these companies and you built this monopoly business,
Well,
right?
the issue is whether you are charging more than you're when you're when you are able to charge much more than it would be if there was competition.
Yeah.
And in this
And
case, at 75% margins, that would be, I think you can make the case on something
yeah.
that's hardware.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they go after him. It would be a shame in some ways. I mean, obviously, Nvidia is making a lot of money, and they probably deserve to do so after all the years of effort and work that went
Yeah.
into developing what they've done. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I would imagine that if you just let the competitive forces continue to work here, that Nvidia will find competition ultimately.
Well,
Maybe even be from Tesla's dojo.
yes, Brian Wong believes that Dojo will, in fact, pass NVIDIA before the end of the decade in chip production.
Yeah. So if we're worried about Nvidia being 8%, then what percent of the S&P will Tesla be one day?
Right.
Yeah. Feel free to make your guess in the comments below. This is another thing that we've talked about from time to time. Elon has expressed interest in getting to 25% ownership in Tesla. He sort of feels like that if he's at that level in conjunction with others, can kind of ensure that Tesla stays on the right path. And so, as it stands today, there's been some discussion about Tesla buying xAI or
Right.
investing in xAI.
Right.
This is if Tesla purchased them. So in the first section there, current, XAI current valuation, I think most recent valuation is something like 80 billion. And Tesla around $1 trillion. And Elon's share of XAI, I believe, is about 54%. Although with the merger with XAI and X, I'm not entirely sure whether Elon still has 54. He might have something less, but I believe, based on the information I saw, I believe it's around 54. But again, I could be wrong on that. That means Elon's equity in XAI is about 43 billion.
Right.
His share of Tesla is just under 13%, so it's about 130 billion. So if you combine that, it's 173, and that puts him at about 15.9% of the combined Tesla and XAI. Again, I don't think this is going to happen. I'm just sort of sharing this
Right,
just to
sure.
show what it might look like. If you factor in Elon's 2018 compensation plan, which is being fought out in the Delaware court right now, using the same numbers, Elon would get to about 23.8% ownership of Tesla, the combined companies. Okay. Now, if XAI had a higher valuation, for example, if it was doubled at 165 billion, then Elon could get to his 25% ownership if the two companies were combined.
And I think there's, every reason to think that XAI's valuation is higher than 80 billion at this point. Yeah.
That's right. Some people think that it's probably already over 100, and some saying that the next stop is 200 billion.
Now, the 9 billion that they just raised, do you remember what that was based on? What valuation that was based on?
I do not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Remember, yeah. So anyway, I think this is going to be interesting as we head into the Tesla proxy that we expect to see sometime in August, I believe, or maybe early September.
I think we should point out that Elon has said he's not in favor of a merger.
That's right.
But is in favor of some kind of purchase of shares by Tesla of XAI.
That's right. Now, Elon could get to this 25% effective control in a number of ways. There could be another compensation plan that gets him there. There could be a second class of shares with extra voting rights that could also get him there. And that, I believe, is possible in the state of Texas.
Right.
Where the company is now domiciled. So this is not the only way for Elon to get to, his desired 25%.
I also think, to be complete, we should remind people that Elon doesn't want the 25% share for any financial reason, and also doesn't want it in general so that he can have an outsized say on the future of Tesla, but rather specifically because of artificial general intelligence and worries about somebody being able to override him in terms of protecting the public in the future from a runaway AGI problem.
Yeah. Yep. Well said, Randy. Well, this brings us to the end of this show.
And you had your disclaimer twice. I mean, you wanted to make sure that nothing you said there could be taken as, I don't know, whatever's on the disclaimer. I think we looked at it in a little bit of detail the first time you put it up, but since then we haven't really gone very deep.
Well, we did it in a couple of different languages, I think, the first time.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And maybe it's time for that again. Maybe I can get AI to convert it to some other language for me.
All right. So you were suggesting in the beginning that maybe the drop in Tesla midday out of the blue might have been something in your slideshow that would explain it. I assume you're talking about the Waymo increase in the size of their market area. But there was another big announcement today. I thought maybe you commented on it, and maybe it's going to be in part 2. I don't know, but we have competition now from a partnership of Uber and
Lucid.
Yes, and Lucid. And they're gonna create an entire 20,000 fleet. 7 years from now, they'll be up to 20,000.
I saw that, Randy. I chose to ignore that for now. I didn't take it seriously. Yeah. Announcements are cheap at this point. We've seen many announcements from automakers about their desire to compete with Tesla. Until they start putting vehicles on the road, I'm going to ignore that.
Okay. All right. That's a year from now, is when they're planning to put some on the road. And their
Yep.
project is a 7-year project. Well, 6 years after that, they plan to have a grand total of 20,000 out there, which I think, how many days does it take Tesla to produce 20,000 vehicles? Not many,
Maybe four.
something like that.
Yeah. No, I don't know that the Uber has 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. So other than that, yeah, I thought that was, an interesting article for the day, but I can't imagine the stock paid much attention to that, or the people that invest in Tesla paid much attention to that, given the, how far out the threat is.
Yeah, no, I that for me does not explain the drop in Tesla stock today, but Waymo's massive expansion of their service area in Austin does. That clearly puts competitive pressure on Tesla.
Absolutely, 100%. So while we're talking about it, and again, I don't want to preempt anything that's going to be in part two, because on Saturday there will be a CERN Basher part two. Um, uh, upcoming earnings call. You have any particular things that you're hoping will be discussed or talked about? Are you thinking that this expansion of Austin could happen before the earnings call, just because, or what do you think?
Um, that would surprise me if they expand it before the earnings call. I'd be pleasantly surprised if the geofenced area changed that quickly. I'm very interested to hear what they say about their Robotaxi expansion plans. I'm sure that'll be discussed. I'm very interested to hear about development of Optimus. I'm very interested to hear about progress with the energy business.
Mhm, mhm.
Those are the three areas for me. I find the commentary on the calls to be very interesting. We learn a lot. Elon
Right,
tells us a lot.
right.
So I'm just anxious to hear all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to hear a little bit more about the lumpiness of the energy, and because we'd all like to be able to predict. Theoretically, we should be able to know that if it can produce X and we're shipping X, what we're getting is deployments, but I think the deployments is only the bookkeeping deployments, right? Not the fact that physically it's on the pad, but rather it has been able to be booked as deployed.
That's right. I believe there are some milestone payments along the way as things are shipped and installed and so on. But I believe the vast majority of the revenue doesn't come until the systems are turned on, activated.
Right,
Um, and so, yeah, there's a lot of megapacks that have been shipped around the world that we haven't yet received the revenue for, or much revenue for.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that throws off people's understanding of just how amazing, how big this particular division is.
Next week, I'll speak about the megapack business in terms of something that people can understand. Apparently, we have a new way of measuring megapack deployments,
Wow. Okay.
and this came from our friends in Australia,
Oh, very cool.
and they converted it into the number of elephant equivalents. I'm not joking. I'm serious, and so I will do some work and share with everybody how many elephants worth of megapacks Tesla has shipped.
Well, maybe if all of you and all the other brilliant people that surround us do quick enough analysis between Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, they could figure out a little bit more about the lumpiness too, from the stack.
Yeah, well, the thing that I take a look at too, Randy, you may recall this, is the unsatisfied performance obligations and the
Right,
deferred revenue balances.
right, right.
And one theory that I'm currently working with is that the changes of those balances give us a really good indication of where revenue is going to be a year from now in that business.
Oh, okay. And that's in the 10th,
Um,
right?
yeah, it's in the 10, it'd be the 10Q,
Mhm.
and that'll get published, I believe, on the Thursday morning,
Oh, it
the
will.
day after earnings.
Yeah, yeah.
So it won't give me a lot of time between when you and I get together, but that's one of the first things I look for in that
Oh, okay.
report.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, let's end part one And let me encourage people, as I have on other programs over the last couple of days, that we are looking for readers of the book, people who want to read the book first. You could be the first in the world, are among the first in the world to read portions of or all of the book and that'll start in about 30 days. And so we need people to read and then comment. You get back to us and let us know what they thought about what they read so we can make quick changes before publication, hopefully sometime in September.
On our next show, just to tease it a little bit, we're going to talk about diners, bots, and the complete demise of corporate finance.
The complete demise of corporate finance.
The scintillating topic of corporate finance.
That's a very scintillating comment. I mean, yes, that's quite the tease. And so if that happens, the financial people won't be able to go to the diner.
Well, it would be deservedly so. They've had every opportunity to straighten up. And if they don't, that'll be their own fault.
All right, sir. We're looking forward to that. And to all of you out there, as always, it's been great talking to you.